Okay, so let me explain. I swear it wasn't me who put it there. So I go on Craigslist looking for a new sofa because my roommate just moved out and took his furniture, leaving me with only a couple of chairs pushed together like a makeshift couch. Whoever told me this life hack, by the way, I hope you suffer the same horrifically sore butt as mine. I find a sofa on sale, decent price. The woman selling it, Sarah, tells me that she inherited her grandmother's house and is basically trying to just offload stuff. Asks if I want to see the other furniture. So I also get a couple of new chairs because fuck my old set that I hate now ever since using it as a couch. There's also a chest freezer she offers to throw in for a good deal because she has no space for it. I don't need a chest freezer, but I think about how many pizzas I can fit into that sucker and how many trips this will save me to the grocery store. You could fit a whole deer in this thing. It has a strange dent in the side and doesn't latch properly and has this weird musty smell. But I plug it in and test it out and it's working just fine. I don't have enough room in this Lowe's rental truck though for the sofa, chairs, and this monstrosity. She tells me her cousin has a pickup and can drop it off later since I'm local. Fast forward a few hours, there's a knock on my door. A burly guy and his buddy are there, and they tell me they have my freezer and carry it down to the unfinished basement for me. I go to the store and buy 24 pieces, and of course beer. Getting home, I throw the beers in the fridge, then stack as many pizzas as I can carry into my arms and bring them down to the basement and set them down and open the freezer. Then I shut the freezer. No way, says my brain. I can't actually process it. Not at first, just doesn't compute. Because I looked in this freezer not a few hours earlier, just this morning, right? Then I open it and peek again. There's a body in the freezer. Every hair on my neck stands on end. The gears of my brain grind, like a machine breaking down. Like there's a stick caught in the spokes, only the stick is this mummified corpse. Certainly, there was no shriveled corpse when I looked inside this morning. I would have remembered, I think. Get it together, I tell myself. And then I ask myself, am I sure this is real? Half of me wants to shut the freezer and call the cops. The other half says that, no, I should investigate closer. I spent a full minute paralyzed between these two insanely bad options. Of course, there are no good options when you're dealing with a body in your newly purchased freezer. Finally, I decide the body must be a prank, a stunt. Pushing the lid open all the way, I lean over the corpse and now the odor hits me. An old, musty odor, a stench. This body is not fresh. With the shriveled skin, it's hard to tell. It's all dried out and discolored. The skin of the lips pulled back over yellowed teeth, dressed in dirty clothes spattered with old blood. It has strangely long fingernails. Makes me think of something I read once, about how the nails of the dead continue to grow after they've passed on. It also looks extremely lifelike. Well, you know what I mean, realistically death-like, not a Halloween prop. It occurs to me that this is a murder victim. I should search for an ID. But also this is when terror kicks in. And fuck no, I think, and shut the freezer. I still have all those pizzas. What the heck am I gonna do with 24 thawing pizzas in a corpse? So the obvious thing to do here would be to call the police. But that's assuming you're a law-abiding citizen with no criminal record. Unfortunately, I hugged with the wrong crowd when I was young. Took a ride in the backseats of a few stolen cars and got in a few fights. Stupid stuff, and I regret it all now. I haven't done anything illegal in years, but would the cops recognize my good behavior or just my record? How would I even explain? Hello, officers. I brought a freezer and it came with a body inside. I mean, yes, I guess that's what I'd say. It is the truth and I am innocent. But do I have faith that my innocence would keep me safe in America's justice system? Come on. So instead, I decide I'll drive this freaking freezer back to Sarah's and dump it on her property right where I found it. It's too heavy for me to move alone. After some calls, I convince my former roommate to lend me a hand. I don't plan to let him look in the freezer during the move. I resecure the latch and add a padlock. I'll remove it and my fingerprints once we get back. The rental truck isn't available until tomorrow since Lowe's is already closed for the night, which is fine. I need a cold place to keep those pizzas anyway. By midnight, I'm feeling like a fool for not calling the police, but also I envision myself being thrown into a prison for a decade or more for a crime I didn't commit. Whose body even is it? How did it get there? Why are the nails so long? All questions that would haunt me beyond any hope of sleep. And finally, I get up and head downstairs to the basement to grab one of those pizzas. And yeah, it's scary as hell. Going down at midnight. I tell myself I'm a grown adult and there's nothing to be scared of. It's just a basement. It's just a freezer. Just a corpse. Like at a coffin at a wake. Like any funeral. Natural as worm food. I try to make myself less scared of said corpse by telling myself it's just a mummy. The lamest of all movie monsters. Really, I just want to make sure it's still there and that it's not moving around. Approaching the freezer, I take a deep breath. My heart is going a million beats per minute. I feel like I might faint as I open the lid. Mummified body, pizzas. My fluttering heart slowly settles. It's like looking into a sarcophagus at a museum. I grab a box, close the lid. The lid won't latch, it's not closing all the way. I try to figure out what's stuck and then see the finger. The long nail, sticking out from the freezer door like King Tut here wants out. The breath leaves my body. I stare, unable to get in any oxygen. The whole world tilts on its axis. Then I open the lid, just a fraction. Use my pizza box to nudge the shriveled finger back in. Close the lid and latch it. Slip the padlock on and head upstairs. I wake up in the morning with my head pounding from a hangover. The bright sunshine pries my lids open. I'm surprised to find crumbs and empty beer cans beside my bed. Apparently I actually cooked and ate that pizza. I crawl out of bed and meander into my kitchen, reaching for the fridge door only to find the fridge in the wrong place. It seems in my terror I tried to move it in front of the basement door. I move it back, trying to ignore my accelerating pulse as I open the basement door and cautiously peek down the stairs. Light from the egress windows illuminates the unfinished cement flooring. Beneath here, everything appears normal, though my pulse skyrockets as I pad downstairs and peek at the chest freezer. It's locked, nothing out of place. I think about unlocking it and looking at the mummy, maybe getting my pizzas out before the freezer, but fuck the pizzas. I'll leave it alone. It's been a few hours since my old roommate and I dropped off the chest freezer amidst the other estate sale items back at Sarah's property. I'm back at home now, sitting on my sofa tapping up this post, and I keep thinking of that finger with those long nails that clearly kept growing after death. Thinking of whether I need to reevaluate my stance on life and death and undeath, or whatever, I just dreamt the whole thing up, or I don't know. But I'd wish I'd never bought those pizzas. If I hadn't ever put them in my freezer, I could pretend it was all just a bad dream, but I can't, because as we were leaving, I remembered to take my padlock and wipe down the freezer. I remembered too, the pizzas inside. And it occurred to me that someone might wonder who put those boxes in there and better take those too. My roommate helped me carry them, wrinkling his nose and saying, "Good call to return it. That freezer smells disgusting." And now I hear shuffling down below my basement, and I'm terrified to go and look because the freezer was definitely padlocked closed when we moved it. But when we opened it up at Sarah's property, there was no body lying there like a mummy. There were only pizzas. And caught in the hinge of the freezer door, one long, claw-like broken nail. So now I have to wonder, where the fuck did the body go? I hope you guys enjoyed today's story. Thank you so much for listening. Now, before I end off this video, I want to say thank you for the support on the last one, because I didn't think it'd blow up as much as it did, honestly. I had no hope, but you guys pulled through, so thank you a ton. Thank you for the Redditor /Let's Split Up for granting me permission to narrate your story. Thank you so much, and as always, write more. Now, once more, I hope you guys enjoyed today's story, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So, don't forget to sit back, relax, and indulge in fear.